As humans, we find ways to lower uncertainty about one another so that we can exchange value.
Blockchain is a digital ledger in the sky.
You will know the basics of blockchain and how it can change.
As technology continues to develop, it seems like we come up with more and more ways to do a lot of things. We figured out new ways to prepare our food. We figured out how to transport ourselves from one place to another quickly and efficiently. And over the last few years, we've even figured out new ways to invest and make money. One of those ways is through blockchain. But wait, what the is blockchain? And what does it do? Sit back and relax as I tell you all about blockchain. This is Fraud Explained. To enjoy more videos, subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell, or else I'll be looking into you too. So before we get into blockchain, let's talk a little bit about this thing called cryptocurrency. Basically, cryptocurrencies are digital or virtual currencies that are kept secure by cryptography. It only exists within the digital space, and it is also traded through digital means. Encryption techniques are employed to secure the networks, so that as to protect it from things like fraud. Cryptocurrencies use decentralized networks, and these are what allow them to exist out of the control of central authorities and governments, meaning that cryptocurrencies are solely managed by their encrypted networks. Cool, right? Perhaps the most popular cryptocurrency, or the one you know most about, is Bitcoin. Bitcoin came into the market in January 2009, following the housing market crash. It was launched by an individual or group, Satoshi Nakamoto. Honestly, we don't really know who Satoshi Nakamoto is. It was a pseudonym. To this day, no one has really figured out who Satoshi Nakamoto is. Anyways, back to Bitcoin. It is currently the world's largest cryptocurrency by market cap, and it is completely digital. Each Bitcoin is basically a digital file that you can store in your virtual wallet using a computer or a mobile device. It boasted of lower transaction fees that beat the way that other financial institutions did online transactions. With Bitcoin, people can exchange money and pay for stuff using Bitcoins or parts of it. So wait, why am I talking about Bitcoin when you're here to learn all about blockchain? Well, that's because Bitcoin cannot exist without blockchain. Yes, really. Keep watching to find out why. Blockchain works as a record-keeping technology. It emerged as a real-world technology option in 2016, and it could potentially drastically change the way we exchange money. Essentially, it works as a digital ledger of transactions. It is copied and distributed across an entire network of computer systems, which makes it virtually impossible to cheat the system. Each block in the chain contains information on transactions made using cryptocurrency. Every time that a new transaction is made on the blockchain, a record of that particular transaction is added to the ledger of every participant. This is a type of technology called the distributed ledger technology, called so since it is a decentralized database that is managed by multiple participants. Blockchain is a type of distributed ledger technology, and transactions done on the blockchain are recorded with cryptographic signatures called hashes. Let's break it down a little bit more to better see how they function. You see, blockchains can be divided into two parts, the block and the chain.
Supported by computers and algorithms that prove that something actually happened.
Now the chain is pretty simple. It's basically the public database. The block, however, is a little bit more intricate. Let's take a closer look at the block. Now I have Investopedia to thank for helping me simplify the definitions. Here goes. Blocks are essentially made up of tiny bits of information. They have three key features. Number one, blocks store the basic information about your transactions. Things like the date, the time, and the amount of money you spent are recorded. So for example, if you went online shopping and you paid using Bitcoin, all the information about your purchases are stored in the block. Number two, blocks store the information about all the involved parties in the transaction. So in the case of online shopping, the block will store your name and the name of the place you shopped at. However, it will use a digital signature to identify you instead of your actual name. And number three, blocks store the information that makes them unique and distinguishable from other blocks. Each block has a unique code called a hash, which are special cryptographic codes generated by algorithms. To go back to our online shopping example, if, say, you decide you wanted to shop some more and for some reason decided to buy the exact same things, the blocks holding your purchases could still be differentiated because of their hashes. In reality, however, a single block can hold thousands of transactions depending on their sizes. Each new piece of information of data is automatically added into the blockchain. Blockchains are multiple blocks that are strung together. However, before a block gets strung with the rest of the other blocks, there are a few conditions. Number 1, you have to buy something. When you do and use your cryptocurrency, your purchase will be added into a block. Then the transaction needs to be verified. That's step number 2. Computer networks will be doing the work of verifying your transaction, and basically what they do is they confirm all its details. Step number 3 is that the transaction gets stored in a block. The block will then contain all of your details and be put together with the rest of the transactions inside that block. Once all of that block's transactions have been verified and are noted by the system, it's given a hash. That's step number 4. Only when the block's been able to go through all 4 steps successfully can it be added into the blockchain. Now, once the block is successfully added to the blockchain, literally anybody can view it. It can readily be seen by anyone who wants to look. For example, if you look at Bitcoin's website, you'll see that you can view the blocks and see the transactions with all their basic information. However, if for example you made a purchase using Bitcoin, you don't have to worry about getting identified right away. Since blocks give people digital signatures, you will probably be identified using a string of numbers and letters, sort of like a username that you would use when you make a purchase. So now that you've more or less gotten the grasp on the basics of blockchain, you're probably wondering why there's so much hype to it. Well, that's because in the past, so many people have attempted to create digital money, but they failed. There was always this issue of trust surrounding it. Like, what if people scammed you out of thousands of dollars by saying that the value of the currency is much lower than it's actually worth? It can't be hacked or cheated, which makes it the perfect safeguard. You see, when a hacker tries to manipulate a block, it creates a new block with the same information but a different code. In order to not get found out, the hacker would then have to manipulate the information on that block as well, but doing so would create another block, which the hacker would have to manipulate again. It just goes on and on and on and on, a chain reaction if you must. Additionally, blockchains are distributed. That means that even if one node is tampered with and goes offline, it would simply replicate and there would be no disruptions to the rest of the system. It's like that mythical creature, the Hydra. You cut off one of its heads, it's still alive, and in its place grows 2 more. Well, blockchain doesn't sprout heads, but you get what I mean. Blockchains are also incredibly precise. They track down every single detail, and once that detail is input into the system, it's virtually impossible to change. It makes tracking finances much easier, and you don't have to worry about things not getting credited in your purchases because it will automatically be uploaded into the blockchain. However, blockchain also has its downsides. They could prove to be inefficient since they consume so much energy and they take up a lot of space. Blockchain ledgers grow very, very large over time. Currently, the Bitcoin blockchain requires roughly 200 gigabytes. Also, since it's a very secure system and requires each user to have a private key so that they can access their money, now this private key must be kept and remembered because once it's forgotten, you have no way of retrieving it and all your money will be gone. And you definitely don't want that to happen. Currently, at the time I'm making this video, 1 Bitcoin is worth roughly $9,400. It could even double in price overnight and make you a hefty profit.
And it can make this world a better place to live for everyone.
But while that's the case, it can also drastically lessen in price. That's part of why a lot of people don't trust cryptocurrencies that much, because they're extremely volatile. However, that's a topic for another day. As far as I can see, blockchain could further be improved and developed, but it has some immense potential in the field of tech. We just have to wait and see. What are your thoughts on blockchain? Do you want to start your own journey into cryptocurrencies now? What do you think developers can do to make blockchain better? Let's talk about it in the comment section down below, and I'll respond to all of you who comment within the first hour. If you enjoyed this video, you should definitely check out my other video called OneCoin and the Missing CryptoQueen. We will be looking into the mystery of Dr. Ruja Ignatova and how she built a cryptocurrency empire before disappearing without a trace. In OneCoin and the Missing CryptoQueen, we talk about the ups and downs of cryptocurrency, things that you should think about before investing your money into it. We also talk about how Dr. Ignatova was able to build her own cryptocurrency empire under the promise of massive returns. Intrigued? Watch OneCoin and the Missing CryptoQueen. Stay tuned and stay educated.